Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of SAP GRC Access Control. In this session we will see SAP GRC overview. GRC integration. In any SAP GRC implementation, the top-down implementation methodology is the best methodology. The bottom-up implementation methodology will increase the cost because it may take years to realize the GRC implementation. So the best way to implement SAP GRC is the top-down approach. This meaning, if you see in the figure, this you have governors who make the decisions of implementation decisions and measures, and you have a compliance team and the risk management team who will define the scope and plan the scope and do the implementation. So it should work always in the top-down approach for a better efficiency. The goal of an compliance is to make sure the companies meet all the demands that are put in place by a regulator. That means we need to implement as much as possible and automate as much as possible during your GRC implementation. That is, after implementing GRC, if you still have something which is still in the old traditional way doing the manual control, then this implementation will not be so much effective. The compliance also concerned with self-influenced rules. That means in any organization, apart from all this compliance requirement, that you may have your own requirement to run the business or do some compliance checks or some auditing checks, that we need to consider that also to be implemented in a SAP GRC implementation, so that you don't have any leftover or you are not discarding anything which is the best way of doing practice which has been followed for so many years. This is an SAP GRC process. If you see the pyramid in the top, you have risk, and then which is again derives the risk into controls. This is again two different modules of SAP, that is financial health and safety and GTS and ITGC controls. We will see in detail in the later sessions how does the risk and compliance can be identified and analyzed and remediated and mitigated in the later sessions. Okay, the GRC, as we seen in the previous session, that the integrated approach in SAP GRC will benefit the company because we have a common source. That means the source of the data is common and the master data is common and the target group also common. So we put all these three things in together, the governance and risk compliance together, which will the integrated approach will complement each other. These are the GRC modules. So right now we are learning about access control. Then you have a different module called process controls. We will see how does the process control works little bit, and the global trade services. And you have another module called environmental health and safety, that is for the health and safety. And you have a risk management. Risk management also a module in GRC, but it integrates all other modules together. Okay, GRC and access control common component. So there is four major components in access control. The first one is access risk analysis, which is called ARA. This is the main analysis tool to analyze SOD conflict. It's a fully automated analysis tool. The second one is access request management, which is called ARM. This is an automated user provisioning tool. Using this ARM, that you can provision the user for the full employee life cycle. That means from the employee when he or she joins in your organization till they leave the organization. That means a full employee life cycle you can provision using this access request management. The third one is business role management, which is called BRM. It's an automated role definition and management of roles. That means using the BRM, you have a lot of defined frameworks by in which you can develop the roles complying with all the regulations what you have with the SOD conflicts and the approval process between these roles and the owners, and there is a lot of things you can control use the time of development of the role. So we will see that in detail in the later sessions. And the fourth one is emergency access management, that is EAM. This enables users to perform activity as a super user privileged access. That means it's a higher level access, but this access you can audit. If you are in a support environment that you wanted to fix something which is on emergency, then you need a higher authorization. So everybody may not have a lot of authorization, so you don't need all this authorization all the time, or maybe this authorization which you are requesting will have an SOD conflict in nature. So these authorizations are provided using emergency access management. This, after using this emergency access, this can be reviewed, this audit log can be reviewed, and it can be controlled. So it's an auditable environment, so it's easy for doing this highly sensitive changes using emergency access management. So we have 4 different modules in access control for 4 different parts in access control: access risk analysis, access request management, business role management, and emergency access management. We will come to this one by one in detail in our later sessions. Okay, to this we will come to the end of this session. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next session. Bye bye.